some people have got way too much time on their hands, and I'm here for it.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Deep Drop for another episode. This is a fishing podcast if you're not aware or familiar with what we do. My name's Luke McCredden and I'm with Adam Ring as always. And Adam, what we do is talk about fishing, but not as you know it, not as the usual sort of way of fishing you might hear or see. How would you explain it?
I've actually got a really good one this week based off an experience that we're going to get into real quick on this podcast, so bear with me. But the Deep Drop podcast is very much like whiting fishing with soft plastics.
Right.
It's 100% not what I expected in the best possible way.
Right.
It was still fucking awesome.
And stinks like gulp scent.
I think I can still smell it.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's not a bad... I mean, that's a pretty short, sharp, sweet explanation, mate.
And after this pod, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I didn't know where you were going to go with that when you said that was sort of how you were going to explain it. I thought, is he going to talk about the giant puffer fish? You know, is he...
No. I'm sure we'll get to that too.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. Well, welcome everyone. It's great to be back for another episode. And it's and can I just say, we got bombarded over the weekend with messages. We got funny reels sent to us, which I'll react to over the next few days. And there was a couple go up last week. We got genuine new people to Instagram that have just started following and just catching up on the show ads, which is awesome. So welcome to you. And I hope you're enjoying it. And I hope you haven't sort of thought, this will be a great informative fishing podcast.
It is in tiny pieces.
Yeah, mate. If you listen to 109 episodes, you'll get bits of information.
Let's just say we don't overwhelm you with quality information. It's easy to digest.
But you know what? It's so crazy because I just feel like we haven't even started yet. We just talk about what we love to do and what we do for a living, and man, we're lucky to do it.
We've loved it for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
We continue to love it. And to be able to record those thoughts, you and I have worked in tackle shops together. We've worked in the industry together. We're both still in the industry in two completely different parts, but we're still here. And just getting some of these thoughts recorded onto a podcast is really exciting because I like to think, Luke, that you and I are the type of people that we take the basis of what can be done and how to do it, and then we really try and fuck it up.
Yeah, we challenge it. We challenge
it.
Right. We challenge what seems to be the norm.
But it's about it, and it's all about learning. It's all about finding what doesn't work as much as what does work because there's so much information, and it's one of the most beautiful things about the industry. It's one of the most beautiful things about the internet in general. There's so much information. You can get so much of it whenever you want, at whatever time or at whatever stage of your fishing journey you're at. You can always find some information that will guide you to the best possible results. We definitely want to do that as we record this pod, but I think in order to find it, there's all these little avenues. There's all these little tiny questions that you think of that you might be too scared to try. And we say, fuck it, try them.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes fishing the greatest sport, future Olympic sport in the world.
Well said. Well said. We're kind of like that hallway, that corridor hallway down a hotel corridor with all doors on either side, and you're so tempted to open those doors before you get to the end of the elevator where you need to get in and get out of there. So we go through those doors, every single one of them.
Every single one. Yeah. And it takes us a long time to get to the end, but you know what? We still get there. We think, because we haven't quite got to the end yet.
Sometimes we get stuck in those doors for a while.
Exactly. And those doors have other doors. And then we get lost and not sure how to get back. But Luke, you gave me or invited me along to something.
Yeah. Yeah. And
last weekend.
Oh, shit. Oh,
here you go. Here you go.
Oh, good. It's good. How are you? How was your holiday? It's good to see you.
No, it was a good trip. It was a good trip. I just not going to lie, we had a couple of days before we came home in Bali, and I'm
Bali.
struggling a little bit with Bali belly still. So
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not in the studio, mate. This is a sort of an airlock.
Oh yeah, sorry guys, sorry about that.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, I'll
Christ.
leave. I'll leave.
Get out of here. Oh, that's not okay for a studio. Oh,
And you know what? You know what,
Jesus
Luke?
Christ.
I hope he's not okay.
Let me tell you, I don't think he is.
Yeah,
That's
good. That's what you get.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with that at all. In fact, I I think you should need to. No, don't come back in. What do you?
Yeah, look, just me again. Sorry, bear with me. I brought you back something.
Oh,
I got you a bintang singlet here.
Oh,
I know that's
sweet.
what all the kids like these days.
yeah. Oh, thanks. Thanks
I
for
had a
that.
couple of DVDs. I thought you might
DVDs?
like. Here's one for the kids.
Right.
The Lion King.
The Lion King, but it's got a stormtrooper on the front cover. I don't quite understand what.
Oh, does it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's Bad Boys 5 with
I
Will Smith and
didn't even think that was out.
Will Arnett. And
Will Arnett.
Will Ferrell.
No,
and
that doesn't
Will.
sound
Lots of
quite
Wills.
right. Yeah, I don't think
No,
that's.
it doesn't quite look right, does it?
No, I don't think so.
Anyway, I'll leave
thank
you to
you.
it. I'm still not feeling 100%. Oh,
Okay. Oh, no, get that out of here, please. That's.
I'm sure he's just doing that on
unsightly.
purpose now.
He's just walking in and just crop dusting the sort of the studio. Not a real fan of that. Anyway, but yes. So no, we did. We had it. Oh, okay. What's going on?
Sorry. One more thing, though. I was
Yeah.
thinking when I was looking at that Bintang singlet,
Yeah.
I thought, that's some good branding right there. It's good
Is it?
branding.
Is it though?
Why don't you push the merch a little bit harder? In fact, why don't you give away some merch?
Well, yeah. I guess we could do that. What do you got in mind?
Oh, I don't know. You can use your Instagrams and the social media
Yeah, I
TikToky
guess
type
we can do that,
arrangement
that's-
to figure that out. Maybe you can give away a couple of caps and a couple of stubby holders or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be able to work it out. But
Yeah,
listen, I've got to go. I'm really not feeling well.
All right. Well, don't. Oh, don't. On the way out and everything. Oh my. We're gonna have to do something about this.
When's old mate gonna work out that when the red on air light is on,
It mustn't be working. I actually need to check that.
it's probably not the right time to A, give us ideas, and B, just crop dust the shit out of the studio.
I don't know if you can. That's not okay. He's not okay. That smells
He's not okay.
awful.
Mm.
Jesus.
I hope he
we
runs
might-
out of toilet paper.
We might have to go to a break to sort of air the room out. I mean, these are airlocked studios. Jesus Christ. Anyway, he's actually
gotta go, mate.
He's left. I've seen him through the window. He's gone. He's not
Good.
okay at all.
Good.
We could do that. I mean, the merch, the deepdrop.au is where you can pick yourself up a cap and stubby holder combo, water combo, by the way. Probably the best combo in the fishing industry at the moment.
I'd say easily.
Should we put that up as best combo at next after?
Yes, we should.
Should we?
Saltiga's Di was rolling out their brand new Saltiga combo, and we've got a cap and stubby holder.
Can you imagine? You know how they read the runners up first? Imagine
They
that.
wouldn't let us enter it because it just wouldn't be fair on everyone else.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a good call. Because we'd put it in that new to show, whatever the fuck it's called.
But the
and
thing
it'd
is,
just be-
though, the stubby holder especially is that good. We could enter it into like best new product, most innovative product,
Yeah.
best combo,
I'll just see if you can.
like the best sounding
quite,
combo.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
listen to
that
that. Is that
sounded
not the
good.
sweetest sound in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
the
gonna- I'm
sweetest
just gonna
sound in
do
the
it.
world. Have it. Yeah, that's it. It was a pleasure watching you take a sip
Was
of
it?
that cold beer out of that beautiful green stubby holder.
It's bizarre how much better it tastes out of that stubby holder. Anyway, go and grab yourself as many as you want. We've done
And
another
keep an eye
run
on
of them.
socials. As much as I would never
Well, let's give
like
a-
to agree with
Yeah,
anything
we
that
sh-
management have to say, it's probably not a bad idea. Luke, I dare say that you probably text him earlier in the week and just let him know that we were thinking of doing this. Because, listen, management's kind of... We're working for one of those sort of dudes that will just take the sweet ideas and claim them as his own.
I don't mind it. Look, I don't mind the input. I've got to get to the bottom of the riff he's got going on with you. He didn't have much eye contact with you just then.
Well, I was a little bit surprised and impressed that he at least didn't give me shit.
No,
this
just
week.
fully ignored you.
But at the same time, I don't think he knew I was here.
No,
Like, he
I
looked
don't think he
straight
knows you're
through me.
part of the show. Like, I think
No.
he just thinks you might come in every now and then to just do a cameo.
just looked straight through me.
Did he get you a Bintang singlet? No.
No, he didn't.
Just me.
No, he didn't. I didn't even get a knockoff DVD.
No, I'm not sure what's going on with those DVD. Firstly, who's got a DVD player anymore? Secondly...
Him. He's still rocking an answering machine with a tape deck.
That's true. Fucking hell. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Get across to Instagram and we'll give away a hat and stubby holder.
Yeah, just keep an eye out. You'll know what to do. You'll know the signs when they're presented.
You'll see the signs. Yeah. It's like an Easter egg in a movie.
Yeah,
you'll
correct.
see it. You'll see it, and you'll go.
It'll be obvious.
Yeah. All right.
You won't miss it.
If you want to grab yourself one, if you miss out on getting a freebie, the deepdrop.au is where you can do that, and check everything else out while you're there, ads. Now, back to what you were getting at before the room got properly crop dusted and absolutely destroyed.
I'm still chewing my way to my microphone.
It's not. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. It is thick. You can always see it. You started talking about something we did together recently on the weekend. You, my friend, got your passport out, crossed the border down to the Bellarine Peninsula, and which was a treat to see you down our way. By the way, loved every minute of it. And we did something that we've been speaking about on the show off and on for quite a while. And we did have our good friend John Didge on the show recently. And, mate, we met at the boat ramp, the three of us. John's boat. We stepped on board and away we went. And the plan was to get you some whiting on soft plastics ads.
Yep. And it was nothing like what I was expecting in a really awesome way. And I haven't stopped thinking about it.
You did mention something via text or something the other day, and there's a lot going on in your mind about this at the moment, and I'm really curious to break it down because we haven't really spoken, to be fair, since we fished, really. So, mate, let this be your platform. If you want to try and break it down, let's do it. We're here for it.
Well, ultimately, I want to say the biggest takeaway for me, and I'm going to open all those little hallway doors that we spoke about at the top of the pod, but I'm going to skip to the end in case I don't get there.
Okay.
Because been prone to do that in the past too.
Right.
I genuinely think, now, first session, completely and open and transparent. It was the first time I've ever soft plastic fished for King George whiting. It's the first time I ever caught one and still is. But I just want to say already, after one experience with it, it has to go into any lure fisherman's repertoire. It's no different and no less successful than soft plastics fishing for bream. Or think of any species that you can think of that is highly popular to target with soft plastics. I think it's that viable.
Yeah.
That's my biggest takeaway. It was one of my biggest surprises.
But
also, it's like not chasing any other species. It's so different.
Nah. It is very, very different. But can I ask, was your, and I'll let you get into it, but was I suppose the build-up or the lead-up to it for you thinking we might pick one or two up? Like, it might be a thing?
Yeah, and I'll say, you guide me here, because once I start talking, I'm going to go, shit'll come to my head and none of it'll make sense. So, but on that question, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Through speaking to you and John over the last months about this, I was definitely prepared and knew that we could get heaps. But if we got 3, I would have been pumped.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. You kind of just wanted to get them and were hoping for a few.
Yeah, that's right. But listen, we had an insane session on these fish. And it was really cool because we went through the mental progression that I think every fisherman goes through when they're really excited about something. But mate, there's so many things that happened that it's answered a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And the first one, which I'll just say straight off the bat, so many fish get driven over on a daily basis.
Yeah. We had a conversation while we were out there, actually, which was interesting, and I hadn't really thought of it like this before. So trying to paint a bit of a picture, I suppose, the majority of the fishing is, well, all of the fishing is drifting, and every now and then you'll whack the lecky down and you might spot lock. There were patches that we would drift over, and once we got a good drift going, we'll sort of get circling back and doing the same drift. There were patches we were going over that you would, every part of your body was like, spot lock us here, set us up here, there's fish here.
Yep.
Or if you're a bait fisher, you'd be going, drop the pick. This is where we're fishing. We picked one or two up. But when you do that, it's, it kind of feels like sometimes it slows down. But what I think we spoke about, and to your point just there, is on the right tide, once we finally got that sort of right tide happening and whatever, the drift was, I don't know, we should have had a proper look at the actual distance, but it was significant and a big patch of water, and it did change. But to your point, if you stopped because you picked up a fish, you would pick a few more up in that one spot. But the reality is the spread of them was insane. So boats quite literally driving over masses of fish, looking for one spot to drop anchor and burley up, sort of thing. So
I think drifting for that style of fishing, regardless of whether you're fishing for King George whiting or silver trevally or estuary perch or brim, whatever, drifting's the way. I think it just is. You need to be insanely active. You need to take note of where you've caught fish. You need to be constantly circling back. And it wasn't until later in the session, when the conditions became really favourable for us, that we could line up a really long drift. Because another thing that the weekend reminded me of, it's actually incredible how much tide can play a part in the success of whatever you're going for. So we got there a little bit earlier than what the tide was that we were looking for. We picked up fish, but it certainly wasn't red hot fishing. We were getting a fish every now and then. I think the first one I caught was small, considering what we were going to end up catching. But we found one really...
Silver.
Yeah, silver whiting. We had one really tiny patch of fish, or feeding fish.
Yeah.
And do you know what was really... This is going to sound quite harsh, but was really cool for me?
Mm.
You and John were starting to shit bricks for a little bit that we weren't going to get it.
No.
Listen, I shouldn't say shit bricks, because you did say when the tide goes.
Yeah.
But the difference between the tide coming in and going out reminded me, you can't afford to just give up.
Yeah.
You can't. And there was enough action going on for us that never once did I think this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
But the difference between the two tides was insane.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to keep putting in casts and try and work out what an area is going to do, and it changes species to species. It changes like location to location.
Yeah.
But it was actually really cool, because when it turned on, if you didn't get a cast, essentially your plastic had been torn off.
Yeah. Yeah. So what? All right. Well, I mean, I know you've probably still got a million things in your head, but I guess to throw some things at you, like what were some of the biggest standouts from someone like you who's done and does loads of sort of estuary fishing, East Gippsland sort of brim, flatties, perch, that sort of thing, to this, which you've sort of referenced has a similar feel in some ways, but also very, very different in other ways. Like, what were some of your big takeaways from this? And like, what surprised you or...
Mate, everything surprised me. King George whiting do not eat a plastic like any other species that I've ever caught on soft plastic.
Mm.
And I don't know why I expect different, because a whiting, essentially with the shape of its face, shows you exactly how it wants to feed.
Yeah.
But I've caught plenty of whiting bait fishing before, and you see a bite, you see a rattle, and then you wait for the sip and you hit it like every other species.
Yeah.
No bullshit, I reckon 98% of the King George whiting that I caught on the weekend on a soft plastic, I didn't feel the bite. As in, I didn't see the line tick. I didn't feel it take off. It was only going to start my retrieve that a fish was on.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is insane, because I couldn't wrap my head around what to do. I was essentially working the plastic and hoping one would stay on. It wasn't till right towards the end. And we ended up having quite a red hot bite as the tide really started going. It wasn't towards the end. I only just started to try and work out how to keep them connected.
And that's a challenge. And for the record, we didn't use stingers at all. I know we spoke about that a couple of weeks back on the show.
I'm glad we didn't, because I'll get to that in a minute too.
But it's not something that, and I think we joked about maybe when John was on the show about wanting to see you lose your marbles when you, because
it's
so
ridiculous.
So many times they pick it up and run hard with it, and they're just holding it.
Just holding on. And it wasn't, again, till the very end I started to get some sort of idea if the fish was holding the tail or if it was hooked. And it was... I still don't know how to describe it.
So another question for you. And I'm just butting in here, so tell me to shut up if you want to get to some of your points. Now that you've done it, and some of your questions from last week or the last couple of weeks around... Can it work in other places? Now that you've done it there, what is your opinion on that? Given that you've caught whiting in all around Port Phillip Bay, Western Port, and offshore, and wherever else, like what? Yeah, you answer it now that you've done it. I mean, it's still still a bit of suck and see, but I'm just saying,
it'll 100% work. I've got no doubt in my mind that you can go anywhere, particularly in Port Phillip Bay where the tide's a little bit more manageable. But the one thing I do want to say, as the water got shallower, the fishing got better. So we were fishing anywhere between, at most, I think we probably caught fish in 2 meters. At least we were catching them in 1.2. The depth didn't matter.
Yeah.
As in, like, don't worry about going too shallow. It was impossible.
Yeah.
But I'm still really intrigued by this worm thing. I really am, Luke, because for about...
It's kept you up at night, hasn't it?
It has. Because for about 20 casts, I used something else.
Yeah.
And very quickly said, this is fucked. Because you guys around me were still catching fish. So I know there was feeding fish. Yeah. I know they were on. I know they were big, and I couldn't get them. And what... I used a plastic that was kind of a little cheeky hybrid between it was the colour of a bass yabby, but the way it was rigged and it could look like a worm.
Yeah.
It did not even get a fucking sniff.
Didn't even get a puffer.
It didn't. It didn't get anything. Not a rattle, not a bump, maybe that was a fish. A flat out nothing until I think I ended up casting it off, which was awesome. And I went back to a turtleback worm. So... Yeah. I'm really intrigued to see. I still think there's some regionality around the worm. I still think if you use that worm in a different part of Port Phillip Bay, it's still going to catch fish. I think it's in that the whiting, it's in their DNA to eat those worms because they're easy to eat. If you think about them, they're soft. There's lots of them. They're long, so every eat's a good meal.
Yeah,
they're a perfect whiting bait.
Yeah.
So their instinct is going to be to eat them. I think if you're going to get them on something a little bit more shellfish-like, you're going to have to go to some of those parts that have really dense populations of bass yabbies. Yeah. I think you're going to have to pick them because I'm not 100% sure, but I dare say a bass yabby does molt like a lot of the other yabbies. If there's a specific water temperature or season that triggers a molt, I think you'd be able to get them then.
Yeah.
But I could not believe these friggin' worms because they're not small lures. We weren't using stingers, which we would have caught 100 times more fish if we were using stingers. But we would have. No doubt in my mind. There was too many fish that were holding onto the tail and swimming around like they were hooked.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, Luke, and why I would still say for your first trip, until you work it out to your first couple of trips, use stingers. If I was on my own, I probably would have used a stinger. It's only because I was fishing with you guys that knew and said, don't worry, you don't need it, trust me. because the quality of the fish that we were getting, I still can't believe it.
That's the other part that we haven't really touched on yet. There was some really healthy fish around, which was awesome.
All of them. I think the vast majority of the fish we caught, listen, we didn't measure them, but at an eyeball, majority of the fish would have been high 30s to low 40s.
Yeah, they were good fish.
They weren't little whiting. No. And we did get a couple of smaller ones. We didn't get any like 25s or tiny little fish. I'm sure they would have been around, and I'm sure if we had stingers, we may have hooked a few of them.
Yeah.
But we didn't need them. I tell you what, though, towards the end, in the hottest of hot bite, where it didn't matter if we were losing them, it was still shit losing 3 out of every 4 fish that you... It's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of part, like it just becomes part of it. Like it's not as if part of it. Yeah, yeah, and it's not as if you're going, oh shit, what have I done? I've just dropped. It's just like no, they don't. And yeah, as we spoke about out there the other day, it's like fair chunk of the time they keep coming back too. Yes. They're not gone for good.
Yeah.
And especially those bigger ones, you notice either woof it down in one hit, or they keep coming back until they just swallow the whole thing.
Well, look, a couple of those fish. There was a definite bite, and I could have sworn to you it was like a pinky bite. You know, when pinkies or things they hit, they tend to, rather than nibble, they tend to hit, like it wants to pull the rod out of your hand.
Yeah,
There was a couple of fish, and we all experienced that a couple of times.
Yeah.
There was a couple of fish that didn't muck around. They wanted to eat, and that was awesome. But just go and do it. If you're a lure fisherman, if you're a soft plastics fisherman, and you want a unique challenge, do it, because you're not throwing shit at the brick wall and hoping it sticks. You will catch them, but it's a completely different eye that you need to get in to catching any other species.
It's good. It's just like another challenge.
I by no means have anywhere near figured it out. It's just giving me a taste to go, all right, I wonder what I can do to either make him hit harder. I don't know if you can. I don't know if losing 3 out of 5 fish is the way whiting fishing on soft plastics goes. Again, makes sense. Look at their mouth. Look at the way they feed. But
I still reckon there's a bit of methodology in that. Maybe the speed of retrieval and the action that you're imparting, because that sometimes, like I said to you, I think last week we were talking about it. Sometimes you have to just physically and mentally go, oh no, I've got to slow it all down. But other times, mate, you could be working it quite aggressively and they'll just be thumping it. But that'll change throughout the tide as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I wouldn't say we had to really focus on a retrieve that was working. Well, it all seemed to be solely tide dependent for us on that given day.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Basically, the slower you worked it, the more chances you were for shitfish. And we caught a couple of toadies and puffers. And I remember John talking about that too. If you leave it sitting stationary too long, you're going to get those undesirables. But
then if you crank it too fast, you'll catch a salmon.
Yeah. I know, pike. Trust me. Yeah, pike. Oh mate, it was so interesting. It was so cool, but it's just made me want to try and work out what's happening.
Well, we should say too, massive shout out to Didge for taking us out for the day. Was brilliant to get you out on the boat and crack that whiting on Placky for
you.
It
was
great.
Awesome. It was so much fun. It was a great laugh. Like we had a great time. We caught plenty of fish in a way that I've never caught them before, in a bite that has literally spun my little brain out a little bit. It was really cool.
We did have quite a few messages over the course of the week, because we did post a few videos and bits and pieces while we're out and about. And I've lost the name. Sorry, I screenshotted a message, but and shout out and thank you for messaging this. Apologies, I've lost your name, but currently listening to 108. Thought I'd share that I've had some decent success using the Gulp 6-inch camo sandworms as an alternative to turtlebacks for King George whiting on that Bellarine Peninsula as well. So, I mean, there's no doubt it's something. It's just like it's a worm. You know what I mean? Like it's so important.
Well, another thing that I'm quietly monitoring in the background I wonder how critical the scent of that gulp formula is, because I don't know if you saw me do it, but when I changed plastics,
you tasted it.
I actually dropped the plastic into the packet of gulp juice.
Did you? Oh,
Yep.
what the one that you?
Yes.
The
And
non-turtleback worm.
Yeah.
And
So
it
I
still didn't work.
No.
Interesting though,
So-
because I mean, there's something in that juice.
Which there always has been. I never.
Yeah.
Never.
Like,
but I don't know. There's a combination that whiting love. I still want to push back and say there is time and place that you can use something else. But I tell you what.
yeah,
The questions to you and John about it, it doesn't seem like it. If you manage to get a couple of fish on something else, it's going to be more fluke than anything.
interesting.
That's how I'm feeling at the moment.
Yeah. All right, for sure, and that's a completely justified feeling, given you've seen 3 people on the same boat just getting smashed on those turtleback worms.
But even the colour, you mucked around with a few different colours.
Well,
Pumpkin seed was the one. You were using camo for a little bit.
Listen, pumpkin seeds are mate. I
and
like
that
to
green
use
pumpkin
camo.
seed or whatever, the other one, I think.
Yeah, I really like to use camo. And funnily enough, I've caught probably some of my better flathead out in that similar area on camo turtleback worms. So I'll always chuck one on for a bit of a run and got a couple of fish on it, but it doesn't perform as well as the pumpkin seed on the whiting.
But do you know what, though? One myth that I think definitely was busted, I don't think we did it intentionally, but it was really interesting. And I think it was a good case study because of how finicky a whiting can be. Colour of the jig head didn't mean shit.
Didn't. Well, you guys were putting a bit of shit on me because I had a slow start and I was using a
green painted jig head. I had a brown jig head. And John went full nude. And he had a silver jig head as well.
Yeah. And that was one of the Jigman jig heads. And I thought for a minute, Jesus, I'm gonna have to cut it off and change it.
But mate, it didn't matter when they got going. It didn't matter.
So. Yeah, I don't know if listen, we removed that myth out of the equation in our situation, but I still want to challenge that in some other
every situation,
snapper, brim, flathead,
perch, everything.
So I'll tell you what though, I'm liking that sort of, what do we call it, like an army green, camo green type, olive green jig head that I was using.
Yep,
I've been using that color almost exclusively for the last few months on multiple things, and I don't have a reason to hate it yet.
They just look cool.
It's only going to take one donut session though for me to never use it again.
Nah, but it completes the plastic. It gives the plastic a completely different feel. Even in the case of what you're doing, even using a pumpkin seed plastic
it looked cool
with a green jig head, whereas the brown jig head that I was using it was a seamless transition from the plastic to where the jig head was tied on.
Which probably makes more sense to use that because the green, you could see it was a different...
Yeah, but it didn't look weird, though.
It didn't look weird. It looked cool.
Yeah. So I think just for unreasonable cool feelness factor, painted jig heads are awesome.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm all about it at the moment. So yeah, no, it was good. And mate, great whiting fishery that we do have on this peninsula, and look, all around at the moment, it's going to be a really good summer for whiting, I reckon, right through till bloody Easter. It's not going to stop. It
hasn't started yet.
No, exactly.
And these fish were great sized fish. We're definitely on a good score. Like I said, just if you do enjoy soft plastics fishing and you enjoy something a little bit, I won't say different because it's the same principles, but there's something that feels different. It's a different bite.
Yeah.
I won't say it's a different technique. I think we got lucky with a red hot bite towards the end, but you'll be. I think you will. I think you will leave the session even after catching them going, I'm still not sure what happened.
Yeah,
and that's cool. It makes me want to go back.
That's not bad. So your summary of the day, of the situation, of the experience ads is it hasn't just satisfied you, it's made you hungry for more.
Yeah.
That's great.
I've still got to go and get my snapper. You do. I'm still there. And this is why I'm not too worried about whiting, because typically speaking, this is very early for whiting. So there's a long time to go. This will go all the way.
Yeah.
You could even do it in whiting, especially down your end of the bay, Luke. I think there's some really good fish that hold up there all year.
Yeah.
So that's always an option. But it's something that's going to annoy me into answering those other questions. Can I do that somewhere else? Can I do it in Western Port? Can I do it around Portsea and Sorrento? Can I go to places that I know whiting that maybe don't get enough love? Places like Beau Morris, Frankston. There's great whiting around there. No one talks about it. No one does it. It's
let's do it, and let's put the challenge out. I know we've spoken about this for a few episodes now, but I would love if you're a whiting fisherman and you're heading out over the next few weeks, whatever, or you've got a planned day that you're going out, just take a bag of turtleback worms.
Oh, I was just about to say,
just a few jig heads, and just do your normal session. That's fine. Do what you got to do, but just have a bit of a crack at some point.
Yep. If you want a great head start, don't muck around yet. Take turtleback worms.
Yeah.
It's just the way. Do it.
Yeah.
But it's worth a shot.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. That was so good to have you.
So thank you to John. It was very, very kind of you to show us the ropes.
He knows it.
It was awesome.
He's pretty across it. Yeah. Something else happened while we were out there actually, and I wanted to raise this because, and look, this isn't exclusive to whiting fishing. So, it happened while we were out there. You questioned me publicly.
Yeah.
No.
I think I know where you're going with this.
And and it was fair at the time, but it did get me thinking later about how we just feel about it in general, because there is something about what I'm about to say that doesn't give you the full satisfaction that catching a fish does. And what I'm talking about is foul hooking a fish.
Yep.
How do you feel? How are you supposed to feel about it? Are you supposed to be claiming it like it's just you've caught a fish and that's how it's supposed to go down? Do you get that sense of it's not really, it didn't really eat the bait or the lure, like, you know what I mean? So I don't know how you're supposed to feel about it. I hooked a whiting effectively in the gill plate, I think, or at the top of the head or something like that, and brought it in and landed the fish. And you were like, that doesn't count. And I went, it does. I've boated it. But then, thinking about it, and you can think of heaps of scenarios where you foul hooked a fish, whether it be a snapper. It's always that, oh Jesus, it's a monster, and you go, no, I've hooked it in the fucking tail. Yeah. Or kingfish. Tuna. Yep. Brim, like everything that you can think of. There is always a situation where you could potentially foul hook one. And I'd love to ask the question to you, the Deep Drop audience, and yourself, Adam, is, I guess, how are we supposed to feel about landing a foul hooked fish?
I actually have an answer.
Good.
Only because I watched that. I took a little video of that.
Yeah.
And I watched it back before I sent it to you when I got home. I think I've landed on an answer.
Okay.
So in the grand scheme of things, it 100% counts. And my reason for saying that is I strongly believe, and I would love for someone to try and talk me out of it, because I don't think you'll win. I think it's pretty hard to foul hook a fish that wasn't intentionally trying to eat your offering first.
Yeah.
I think if you're twitching a plastic or slow rolling a hard body or doing whatever, chucking a fly, whatever, not that you'd want to, but some people feel inclined to.
Who does that? Who are you talking to?
Yeah, no one.
We're on air, by the way.
Edit that out. It's pretty hard because you're not doing anything quick enough to drive a hook home.
What are the odds of actually just pinning a randomly
just a fish sitting there that was an entry? It's not going to happen. So they've tried. But if I was to hook one snapper for this whole season,
and
it was foul hooked,
Yeah.
it wouldn't satisfy me as much as if the same fish had the lure in its mouth.
Because there'd still be an asterisk next to it in your head.
In my head.
Even if you didn't tell anyone about it, in your own head, you'd be like, it's still hooked by the pectoral fin.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't,
Because it still counts. Like you can't control if a fish has gone, like just slipped into full special mode and missed and eaten your plastic with its back. Like you can't help that. It was still trying to go for your plastic. But you can't.
What about...
it's still a thing. Like it still counts.
What about... What about just having a moment over here. What about in the tournament scene? I mean, a fish is a fish, right? If you're fishing in the Bassmaster fucking elites or whatever it is, is there any rules against it?
I actually don't know. If you're a tournament fisher, please reach out because I can't see how it would be policed.
Yeah. But
so
same barra comps. I mean, for example,
marlin comps. What happens if you build up your fish?
Because you do see that every now and then. They come up fucking backwards, but they're usually hooked in the mouth first, I guess. But we spoke last week about Timmy Morgan winning the barra comp up at Tinaroo. Like, what if you jagged a buck-50 barra in the fucking side?
Fair bump play on.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, I mean, tell us if we're wrong. If anyone's listening who follows, I actually
don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it'd be. Yeah, it'd be an interesting
that'd have to
rule.
Still count, I think.
But
I don't think you can't intentionally jab.
No, well, you can with a giant ball sinker and a big treble. But,
but I don't think it's a great lure.
But I suppose for the general public, who we are and we're talking to, is just in general, how do you feel about it?
Yeah,
if you're on a river, wading a river, chucking spinners or little hards at trout, and you just pin one in the side because shit happens. Or they've come up and swiped it, and it's just because they're a bit dopey, and it's just sort of whacked it in the head, and you've brought it up by the eyeball. Still a fish, right?
Yeah, I've never thought, if I caught that one for the day, I'm not telling everyone I caught zero.
But to your point, interestingly, and maybe you could sort of say there's probably a few fish that maybe fall into the bracket of like you're not getting a shitload every season, so every one of them counts. So it might be yellowtail kingfish, for example, where there's a very small window and it's hard to catch them in Victoria, for example. So you finally get one, you've got a live bait out, it goes... There's 3 of them attacking it, and one of them just happens to roll on it and gets pinned in the side. And you bring that in 90 centimetres, metre 10, whatever, really nice fish. Is it tainted?
Oh, mate, it's one of the coolest rules in fishing because here's exactly how it plays out. If your mate foul hooks one, like what happened to us, I'll tell you all day long with a straight face.
For the rest of the day.
Didn't count, mate.
Yes.
But if I was in your position, I foul hooked it, and you're going didn't count, I'd be like, "Fucking oath it counts. What are you talking about?"
I brought it to the boat. It's in the boat.
So there's it's literally depending on who catches it, the rule changes, and both parties are right.
Does. Yeah, I love that. I love that. No one's wrong.
Like if that whiting that you caught was a 49 centimetre whiting, you hooked it in the face, I'd be like, great non-fish, mate. Like.
Great non-fish. You got to release it.
Like that's a sweet 49 centimetre whiting that you didn't catch. You just got to hold it.
I wonder if there's people. Out there that are so serious about their fishing that they would even put that rule on themselves. They bring it in and go, "Oh, fuck, it's in the side or in the head. No, not keeping it or not counting it."
Not a true fisherman.
Yeah, that's
just claim everything.
All right, so how do we feel about? What's the question to the punters? How do we feel about
foul hooked fish?
Yeah. Are we as satisfied as we should be?
Or foul hooked fish ... Does it count?
Love that. See, this is why management should go easy on you, because you've got some good ideas.
Yeah, but too bad he's not listening whenever I have one. They don't come along often. But when they do, he's,
I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't think management listen at all. I just don't think they listen.
That makes it even worse for the vendor.
I reckon they might catch the first minute and a half. Just the intro.
Well, sounds like they're just listening out for merch.
That's what I think it is. It's almost like, because you know what, they're bean counters, mate. Bean counters.
I'll tell you who won't be getting a free combo, and it's fucking management.
No, I should check to make sure he's not raiding the fucking merch kit. Wouldn't be surprised. He's doing the old Richard.
I'll give him a hat for Christmas and rub me bag on it first. It's as close as he's getting to a free hat.
Yeah. Wow. Got that.
I hope he's listening to that.
Speaking of that, did you see the Victorian Fisheries Authority post the new, I believe it was a new channel that was dredged, Tookarook?
No.
Can you please have a look? Can you please have a look in real time right now? Have you got access to your phone?
100%.
It's one of the better cock and balls you'll ever see.
Is it on Insta? Hang on.
And tell me I'm not alone in thinking that. It literally popped up today and I went, wow.
All right, hang on. Is it Vic Fisheries or Fisheries Vic?
VFA. So do yourselves a favour out there if you're listening. Just jump on and have a look and let me know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe
is it VFA? No, I can't find it.
Oh, no.
Hang on.
All right.
Vic.
I'll have to send it to you.
Oh, here we go. Fisheries Vic.
Yeah. So have a look at the Tookarook
hang
channel
on.
that's been dredged out.
That's a penis.
Isn't it? So
Surely
that's
that's
the dredgers
planned.
taking the piss.
That's yeah. Do you know what makes it even funnier?
Yeah.
Got a slight up angle.
It's pretty solid.
That's probably one. That's awesomely unfortunate.
That's not bad, is it? I think Fisheries Vic Instagram, jump on and have a look. Tookarook channel dredging complete. Yes, it is.
Tick. It certainly is complete.
You know, there was a comment on it, and this is just a public service announcement.
I'm viewing.
Someone's commented and tagged Cock and Balls Australia.
Someone else has written. Who else? Who else saw something else?
I just want to shout out Cock and Balls Australia. It's an Instagram page, and it's everything that it looks like.
Are you on it at the moment?
Yeah.
Have a look at this one.
The sounder?
All ready for the semen. Oh, this is gold.
This is the best Instagram page I've ever.
So that's been done on purpose, surely. Laughing face.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome. Looks like it was a big operation. Oh, the internet is the best.
It is.
Oh.
It's
so there's some witty ones, and then there's just a flat out ha ha. It looks like a penis. Oh, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
This has got to be set up. It's just fantastic.
Oh, how's the compliment from old mate? He's tagged his mate in it and gone. They use part of you as a stencil.
Oh, what a good
cracking
friend,
mate.
I need to find out who this person is. No, they're private.
Oh, I just saw you at Cock and Balls Australia.
Oh, mate,
An
check out that
almighty
page.
channel.
Can you check out that page, please? Cock and Balls Australia, right now. Look at the sounder pic.
Sounder.
Oh, I understand this is a podcast, but
This is fantastic.
I'm going to share this page.
Some people have got way too much time on their hands, and I'm here for it.
Oh, it's yeah. Katy Perry. I didn't realise the mic she was holding it there.
There's a mural of Astro Boy that's been attacked with a Sharpie. There's Bluey just packing some serious heat.
It's a bit much. Check out that guitar.
Yeah, I know. Oh, how's the tattoo? Right. Have you seen the tattoo yet?
Oh, fuck. Where's the tattoo?
Keep scrolling down.
On the leg?
On
the guy. Jesus Christ.
That's graphic.
That's not real. Oh my! All right, listen, we got to stop. This is just probably not ideal audio. So please check out.
Shout out to the dredgers at Tookook. Well played.
Can we? If you're, but have you been part of this dredging project? Please get in touch.
We want you on this pod.
We need more context to this. And if you've done it on purpose, don't shy away from it. It's fucking brilliant.
Own it. And I want to know what channel you got next.
No one will be offended or upset with you, and if they are, too bad. Yeah. It's brilliant. Well played. Oh my God.
And to everybody that commented on that, tip of the deep drop cap to you. Because it's so good.
Tip of the channel to you.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, far out. We need to give a cap and stubby holder to the dredger.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Oh, that's fantastic.
It's so good. It's like when people go for a run, and they, you know how you can mark your trail, running trail, and it's just full pictures of stuff. Yeah. There's always someone who does cock and balls. Always. Oh my goodness gracious!
Love that.
Oh. All right, I don't even know. So, where we were.
Say, have you got anything else fishing orientated? Because I'm cooked. I don't know what's going on now.
I just feel like I just want to scroll that Instagram account for a while. I'm completely shot for what we're talking about. Yeah, but okay. So we were talking about the foul hook thing. So we got through that. So the question is, foul hooked fish.
Does it count?
Does it count?
I'm saying yes, it does count. But if it happens to your mate, you have to continually badger him that it doesn't count.
Yeah. And then we want you to go and check out the VFA Instagram.
And comment
and give it a shout out.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And we're going to jump online. We're going to give away some merch.
Yes, we are.
Don't know how, don't know when,
just keep an eye on socials. You'll know when you see it.
Yeah.
And
we're going to ask you to do something to earn it.
I've got an idea, but I don't think we should roll with it.
All right, let's take it offline.
Yeah.
This is a lot we should have taken offline tonight, potentially.
I've got an idea. I'll text it to you when we're done.
We'll see how it goes. All right. I mean, I'm pumped because you know what I'm pumped. You know what I'm pumped for. I've seen, and this is probably testament to how fucking shit the weather's been in Victoria over the last few months, but some solid patches of afternoons now. The sun's up for a while. There's a bit of warmth in the air.
Yeah.
You know what I'm sniffing? Top water EPs.
I was just about to ask you as you were sort of that. I've crapped on way too much about what I want to spend my fishing time doing.
Yeah, it's
over the next little bit. What's got your goat at the moment? What are you thinking? What are you leaning into?
I'm just fishing at Tutkaruk. I don't care what I'm doing.
Doing a lap of the gook.
Just doing some time trials up and down the shaft.
See if you can get your sounder out and do a pink trail in the thing of a vein down the middle of it.
Nah, look, I think for me it's about I know you've gone on about the snapper thing, and we're eagerly awaiting Snapper Diaries entry number 3.
Yeah, well, I was hijacked on a whiting session for my last one.
No,
so.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Don't worry, you'll hear about whiting session.
I am keen to do a bit of a snapper session. Not as desperate as you are at the moment. I'll be happy to just do a couple of trips, and even if I don't get them, I'll just foul hook one. But I think what I've got my sights set on is a couple of local trout runs down the coast, and then and I think I want to put some time in on these perch.
Yeah.
When I say these, I mean there's some within sort of a couple of hours, there's a few really nice rivers where they're holding up, and the topwater late afternoon topwater bite is just teases you.
Yeah.
Because it's you feel like, and listen, I'm far from a good angler when it comes to that particular application. You've done way more than I have, and people listening are all over it. But I always feel like it should be easier than it is, and I'm not saying easy, but easier to entice a bite when there's bugs fucking everywhere. It's warm, or it's humid or mild, still night. Your cicada or your little walk the dog pencil stick bait is just performing beautifully.
I haven't done a heap of top water on. I think the vast majority of the top water I've done on them has been with you in those old nights walking the power.
That's right. Yeah.
With mainly with cicadas, because you didn't have to see if they were working or not. You could just wind them in the dark because you don't even know where you're casting half the time.
No, you don't know where you're casting.
Just wait for a sound and cast.
But that's a fair call. Those were the megabass siglets.
Yep.
From memory, that were basically exclusive what we were using.
Yep.
And that is pretty accurate. They swam beautifully and caught loads of fish.
Yep.
But you didn't have to worry about trying to see it, make sure it felt right. It was just, it worked. And if it didn't for some reason, you knew straight away and you just crank it in and the hook might have been all fouled up, or there was a leaf attached to it or something.
Yeah, you're right. Because with a walker style lure, you need to see, because you don't feel it walking, if that makes sense.
No,
whereas you can
exactly.
feel a paddler working.
Yeah. So I want to do more of that, and I've spoken on this show, particularly around after when the Jackal have released that new little. So that's about to hit the market. So I'm keen to.
Have you got any?
Have I got any of those?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You should definitely You should definitely swim them.
Yes. Well, do you know what? And it's ridiculous because I haven't had an opportunity yet. It just had nothing sort of lined up as far as
the weather hasn't been.
No,
we've had a few little balmy nights, but it hasn't been somewhere where you go, tonight's going to be the night.
Can I ask a question? And this might open another can of worms that we probably should wait for another episode, but I'm going to ask it now while it's on my mind. And this is for everyone listening too. And let's be really specific, for that style of fishing, and let's say an estuary perch, what is the best condition? Because in my head, the stiller it is and the calmer of a night it is, the better, because I don't know whether it's because your lure really stands out and it's making some noise but is that even the best condition? Do I want a bit of sort of wind on the water, or do you know what I mean?
It's weird because in my mind, I'd like to say as warm and as still as possible, but solely just because it's more exciting for us.
Yeah, and probably more pleasant too, right?
But I think more the point,
mosquitoes,
there needs to be some sort of activity. I think the area you're fishing will tell you if it's worth throwing to top water or not. And I'm not even necessarily saying that you need to see fish swirling or buffing or doing whatever. It's more just there needs to be that life. Whether it's bait fish milling, whether it's lots of bugs, whether it's something needs to say do it. Like if you and I went, if we were out somewhere, say we were camping in Gippsland somewhere, and it got to that twilight, beautiful, calm conditions, warm, but we just didn't see anything landing on the water. There was nothing happening. I'd be like, okay, we'll do it because we're here, but confidence is not high.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. I honestly haven't done a ridiculous amount of top water fishing.
I'm just wondering whether I'm waiting for the perfect sort of conditions in my head, but it's not actually the perfect conditions. So I get what you're saying about activity and life, but I'm just like, am I better off with a slight zephyr of wind across the top of the water just to break it up a bit?
That's probably not a bad thing, as long as it's not enough to fuck the lures out.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm sure someone will tell me. Actually, they probably won't, because bass and perch fish.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm kidding. But it's just a curious one. Yeah, because I don't think it affects And I know it's a completely different ball game, but I don't think it affects like the blue water thing. You know,
No.
with all the kingfish stuff we've done over the years, top water, it could be glassed out or just a horrific sort of slop and chop and waves, and they don't give a fuck.
I think for a really little walker, it could be a little bit tricky, especially if that lure's getting swamped. I think for a paddler, like those cicadas or, you know, like a micro pompadour or something, those paddler things, they're gonna hear them, and they're you know, even if they get swamped, they're gonna come straight back up and keep walking.
Okay, well that's me. I think that's what I want to have a bit of a nudge at over the next sort of little run into Christmas. I reckon.
Do bent minnows count as topwater?
Have we spoken about this?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I in my head they are.
Me too.
Yeah. But I don't know. Oh, that is a can of worms right there.
Yeah.
We might have to revisit that.
I'm going to go back and have it. I think we've spoken about it.
It wasn't that long ago. Yeah, we have. Yeah, I'm sure we have.
I have to go back and have a listen.
All right. Well, let's get it. Let's do that. Thank you, Adam. Been a great time with you. The studio is starting to sort of smell okay again.
Is it though, or are we just used to it?
No, I don't. Maybe we're used to it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's in my clothes a bit now as well.
Yeah. Like when you've been close to the fire, it just smells like.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly like campfire.
But mate, thank you, and shout out to John Didge. Thank you. It was a unreal weekend that's got me asking more questions than has answered. But it's the best. It was so much. It was so much fun. It ticked off something that I've never done before. The banter was great. It was a great time. Got sunburnt. That was great.
Oh, yes, me too. Jesus Christ. Where did that sun come from? Dude, I know that you and Didge were in pants. I was wearing shorts.
Yep.
Back of my legs, I struggled to sleep that night.
It's cooked.
That much pain. Yeah.
But no, it was a good time. So thank you for the invite, mate. That was great fun, and it definitely won't be the last time we're doing it.
No, beautiful, love it. Well done. Thank you everyone for listening. Get in touch and get involved, and we will see you again next time. See you, Ads.
Peace.